The Silent Ocean. Before the island, they say the ocean forgets nothing, but there is one place it refuses to remember at all. Just beyond the eastern edge of the African coast lies an island no map dares to show. Fishermen speak of it only in lowered voices, as if even whispering its name might call something from the deep. Boats that drift too close are found days later, empty, drifting, their oars untouched, their ropes neatly coiled, as if the crew stepped off willingly and never returned. Some call it the Forgotten Island. Others call it the place where the living become stories. The first sign that you are near it is not what you see, but what you don't. The waves fall silent. Birds vanish from the sky. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. And then, if you dare to look long enough, you might spot it in the mist, an island that looks abandoned, untouched, frozen in time. But those who survived long ago swear it is alive, watching, waiting. For generations, villagers along the coast warned their children not to follow the strange lights that sometimes shimmered on the horizon at night. They said the lights were not lanterns, but invitations, and anyone who accepted them never returned. Yet the island didn't earn its fearsome name because people vanished. It earned it because some did come back, but not as they were. Their eyes remained wide, as if still staring at something unspeakable. Their voices cracked when they tried to explain, and the only words they ever managed to say were the same: "It remembers us, even when we try to forget." So what secret does this island hold? And why has no one who steps onto its shores ever truly returned alive? Drifting, empty boats. Along the far-stretching coastline of Mbatha village lived a peaceful people known for their deep connection to the sea. The villagers depended on the ocean for food, for trade, and for rituals that honored their ancestors. Their lives were simple yet full, built on the rhythms of tide and wind. Among them lived a young fisherman named Sefu, known for his quiet bravery and restless curiosity. Sefu was unlike the others. While most villagers feared the unknown horizons, he felt drawn to them. He often watched the sea at night, wondering what lay beyond the mist. Beside him lived his grandmother, Mama Kaina, the oldest storyteller in Mbatha. She knew every tale the ocean had ever whispered and every warning it had ever given. And she had one rule she repeated all his life: do not look at the horizon when the lights appear. Curiosity can be a doorway no one returns through. For decades, the village lived untouched by danger, until the night the lights returned. They rose from the water like glowing embers, drifting in patterns too deliberate to be waves. Children saw them first and ran home trembling. Elders closed their doors. The drums stopped. The air felt heavy, as if the ocean were holding its breath. That same night, strange footprints appeared on the shore, long, narrow, and dragging, as though someone had been pulled rather than walked. The footprints led toward the sea, not away from it. The next morning, 3 fishermen went missing. Their boats were found drifting in silence, ropes neatly coiled, nets untouched. Word spread quickly. The island had awakened. Mama Kaina trembled as she whispered, "It calls to those who listen. It remembers those who dare." Sefu felt something deeper, an unexplainable pull, like the island was not just calling, but choosing. Days passed, each stranger than the last. At night, villagers heard whispers riding the wind, voices that sounded familiar, like the missing fisherman calling from far away. Shadows flickered across the water where no boats sailed. Even the animals grew restless. Goats refused to graze near the shore, and birds circled the village without landing. One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, Sefu saw something that chilled him to the bone. Standing at the far edge of the shore was one of the missing fishermen, Jabari, his skin pale, his clothes dripping with seawater. But his eyes, they were blank, staring past Sefu as though seeing something behind him. Before Sefu could speak, Jabari opened his mouth. and sand poured out instead of words. Then he turned and walked straight back into the water. The village erupted in panic. Elders performed protection rituals, drawing symbols in ash around every home. Mama Kenna kept her staff close, chanting prayers older than the village itself. But Sefu could not stay behind. Jabari's empty eyes haunted him, and the island, its invisible pull, felt stronger than ever. He believed that if he reached it, he might understand what had taken Jabari, what had taken so many before him. Guided by fear and curiosity, Sefu prepared a small canoe. Mama Kenna tried to stop him, gripping his hands with trembling fingers. "The island takes more than life," she whispered. "It takes memory. It takes time. It takes soul." But Sefu's mind was set. As the mist gathered around him, he pushed into the silent waters, unaware that something beneath the surface followed him, something old, something watchful. Hours passed in eerie quiet. No waves touched his canoe, no wind brushed his skin. The world felt suspended. Then the mist parted, and the island appeared, dark, still, untouched by time. Trees grew in unnatural patterns, twisting as though reaching for something unseen. The air smelled of old memories and fear. Shadows moved between the trees, though no sunlight shone. Sefu stepped onto the sand, and the ground felt warm, pulsing like a heartbeat. Every step echoed with whispers. Voices calling his name, voices he knew, voices he feared. The island pulled him deeper, guiding him toward a clearing where the earth dipped into a shallow pool of still water. In its surface, reflections danced, but not his. Instead, he saw faces of the lost fishermen, their eyes wide, their mouths frozen in silent screams. It trembled. The pool began to glow. A tall, slender figure rose from the water, neither man nor spirit, but something in between. Its body shimmered like shifting waves, and its eyes held centuries of sorrow. Sefu fell to his knees as it spoke, its voice echoing like countless whispers layered together. "You come seeking truth," it said, "but truth here does not release. It binds." The spirit extended a hand. Beneath its touch, memories surged through Sefu. Visions of past villagers who had stepped onto the island, consumed by their own curiosities, trapped in endless cycles of remembering and forgetting. The spirit revealed the curse. The island fed on memories, using them to keep itself alive. Anyone who entered became part of it, their memories absorbed, their souls drifting forever. Sefu tried to pull away, but the spirit's grip tightened. The island shook violently, as though awakening fully. Shadows rose from the water, surrounding him. The spirit leaned closer and whispered, "You have been chosen, because you remembered the forgotten, the memory pool." Summoning the last of his strength, Sefu clutched the charm Mama Kenna had given him, a small carved talisman blessed by ancestral rites. It glowed brightly, pushing the spirit back. The shadows recoiled. The island screamed, a high, piercing sound that shattered the stillness. Waves crashed against the shore for the first time in ages. The spirit writhed in agony as the talisman's light spread, breaking the island's hold piece by piece. Sefu ran toward the shore, the ground cracking beneath him. Trees fell. The pool dried. The island began to collapse. The spirit reached for him one last time, its voice trembling with rage and sorrow. "You cannot free what remembers itself," it cried. But the talisman shone brighter, and the spirit dissolved into mist. Sefu leapt into his canoe as the waters surged. Behind him, the island sank slowly beneath the waves, vanishing into the depths as though it had never existed. When Sefu returned to Mabatha village, dawn was breaking. But something was different. The sea, once silent, roared with life again. Birds filled the sky. The wind returned. Villagers gathered around him in awe and fear. Mama Kenna wept with relief. Sefu told them everything, the spirit, the curse, the island that fed on memories. The elders listened in shaken silence. The village held ceremonies for days, thanking the ancestors for sparing them. But even as peace returned, something lingered. Sefu himself had changed. He moved slower and spoke softer, as though leaving a part of himself behind. And at night, when the world grew quiet, he sometimes heard the faintest whisper across the water, like a memory calling his name. Years passed, and the story of the forgotten island became a cautionary tale across the coast. Parents warned their children not to chase strange lights. Fishermen avoided the horizon at dusk. Elders taught that curiosity, when unchecked, could become a path to ruin. The moral of the story lived on. Some mysteries are not meant to be solved, and some places exist not to be found but to be avoided. The sea may forget many things, but it never forgets those who ignore its warnings. And somewhere in the depths, far beneath the waves, something stirs. A faint glow, a drifting whisper, a memory resurfacing. The island may be gone, but can a place that remembers souls ever truly disappear?